Today's agricultural fact of the day: the National Association for Business Economists on Monday forecasted that the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, for a basket of common goods and services will decline to an annual rate of 2.4% this year, compared to 4.1% in 2023 and 8% in 2022. However, restaurant prices in January rose 5.1% from a year ago. The fact today tied in very nicely with the fact that we did yesterday, which had to do with the Economic Research Service and the forecast of what food prices are estimated to do in this coming year. The last part of this fact was more of an afterthought, because yesterday we had a lot of conversations about minimum wage and how in the state of New York, the overall minimum wage in our state has increased to over $15 in 2024. And in the source that this fact came from, I believe it was CBS News, I just happened to Google a certain thing about food prices in 2024, and that website popped up. And in that article that they had written Monday or Tuesday this week, it stated that the reason the food prices at restaurants have gone up is because of the increase in minimum wage and labor costs. So that was just a kind of like my reasoning yesterday, but as it turns out, I was correct. As I mentioned to my students, this is positive for us moving forward, because we're constantly talking about how the economy is a big struggle, especially in our area. The families are struggling because we're an economically depressed area to begin with, and it's a challenge when you have families larger than like 2 people. So again, this is all just an estimate and a forecast, and I'm not really sure like how they estimated it, where it says for a basket of common goods and services. Like obviously grocery costs are taken into that, but I don't know what else it entails. So obviously daycare costs aren't getting any lower, but hopefully the cost of food, we will start to see a decrease in the relatively near future. In other news, my FFA chapter has started their incubation project. So we officially have all 6 incubators placed around our school district. Now, the school that I teach at is relatively small, and the middle school, high school, elementary school are really all in one building. So I have a couple down in the elementary, I have a couple in the middle school, and 2 in the high school. If you missed it, we actually received a national FFA grant in order to implement this project, and the eggs are being donated from my farm, from my NPIP AI tested flock. We test on a yearly basis because I used to ship hatching eggs, but I applied for this grant back in the spring. I found out in August that we received it, and we had $3,700 to buy incubation supplies with. So the idea is that we're really going to try to get the community involved, because obviously we will be inundated with chicks once they start hatching. They are the Nurture Right 360s. We have 6 of them. So those are 22 egg capacity incubators. So even if I have a kind of decent hatch rate, we are going to have a lot of chicks before very long. Luckily, my school is building me a new agricultural facility. It is government funded through the capital project funding in our state. So we've been working on the planning process since I was hired at this school almost 5 years ago, and we're finally in the final stages. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we will transition out there so that when these chicks start hatching out of these eggs, we have a place to raise them. The community will have the opportunity to purchase them from the FFA, so it's $2 donation per chick to our FFA chapter. And if we end up not selling them, then we will raise them in the barn up to a certain age, and then we will send them to the local auction. We're very lucky that we're only about 20 to 25 minutes from the local auction. So if we really needed to get rid of some, I just take a half a day in the morning, take a field trip day, and go drop them off at the auction. With the experience I already have with chickens and doing this on my own at my farm, I feel like this will definitely be a successful project, especially given the chicken and egg shortage that we're currently seeing, is that more people are probably going to start their backyard flocks. Now, the biggest thing is that we also provide information, because we will be sending home educational materials with these kids so that their parents know of the opportunity that is provided to them, but also educating them on avian influenza, because that is seeing a resurgence, and that's definitely a concern with backyard flocks. So Let me know if you have questions.